Good day, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me to be one of the presenter of the third Graduate Education Multidisciplinary Research Colloquium. My name is Jovilyn Garcia from the city of Sagay. I am currently connected in Sagay City Senior High School as a public teacher. I am a Masters of Arts in Education graduate, major in Social Science in the University of Negros Occidental Recoletos de Bacolod Graduate School, Bacolod City. Cultivating awareness of these core values, especially among students, is an urgent need nowadays because it serves as foundation of their character. The title of the study is Awareness and Practice of the Public School Core Values Among Junior High School Students in a Component City of Northern Negros Occidental, co-authored by the ever-enthusiastic advisor, Dr. Joel M. Buell. It is perceived that core values play an essential role in determining the nature and shape of the relationship between the students and teachers of every educational institution. The concept of awareness is one with which learners identify themselves through various perspectives on how to behave in accordance with their beliefs and social norms. It is essential to strongly establish among students their knowledge of the core values to demonstrate them and preserve them. In fact, they are the ideal institutions in honing the student's disposition towards learning. Thus, in the Philippine public school, issues in terms of sustainable implementation, like the unclear grasps of these core values and influenced by the secularistic, modernistic, and materialistic mindsets, continue to emerge, which compromise the student's practice. In addition, the pandemic has affected most learners to engage with their gadgets and modules, leaving these core values unincorporated and unsupervised. Meanwhile, several studies were conducted on core values internationally and studies conducted in core values in the Philippines. Given the available studies, there is a dearth of literature on the students' awareness and practice of public school core values, especially in public secondary school, and this is the research gap which this study filled in. Hence, the study assessed the level of awareness and extent of practice of junior high school students on the public school core values of makadzos, makatao, makakalikasan, and makabansa in the component city of Northern Negros Occidental during 2021-2022 when taken as a whole and grouped according to demographics. Likewise, it also investigated the difference in the awareness of and extent of practice of the junior high school students on the public school core values. And lastly, it determined the relationship between the students' awareness and practice of the public school core values. Moreover, the study utilized the quantitative research design, particularly the descriptive, comparative, and correlational approaches. The respondents were the 221 stratified randomly sampled junior high school students in a component city of Northern Negros Occidental. In assessing the study of awareness and practice of the public school core values, the validated and the reliability tested questionnaires were used. The awareness questionnaire has a valid score of 0.96 and reliable rating of 0.781, which will be rated using a Likert scale of 1 as very low, 2 low, 3 moderate, 4 high, and 5 very high. Meanwhile, the practice questionnaire has a valid score of 0.96 and a reliable rating of 0.816 and will be rated during the scale of 1 very low extent, 2 low extent, 3 moderate extent, 4 great extent, and 5 very great extent. In analyzing the data, mean and standard deviation were used in determining the student's level of awareness and extent to practice of core values. Meanwhile, the Kolmogorov-Smirnov was used to test the normality. The awareness and practice was not normally distributed. That's why non-parametric statistical tools was being used. Mann-Whitney U-test and Kruskal-Wallis were employed in analyzing the difference in the level of awareness and extent to practice of core values when grouped according to the demographics. And lastly, the Spearman rank correlations was utilized in correlating the awareness with the practice of these core values. For the level of awareness of the junior high school and the public school core values, the overall very high rating indicates that the public school students have an exceptional awareness of the core values. The makabansa as the highest and makakalikasan as the lowest domain. The overall very high level and rating indicates that the students in a public school in the component city of Northern Negros Occidental have an exceptional awareness of the public school core values of makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan, and makabansa. All domains were very high, with makabansa as the highest rated domain, which indicates that the students are extremely aware of this among the 4 public school core values. They are very much aware of their rights and responsibilities and have a sense of pride as a Filipinos. Makakalikasan is the lowest, which means this area should be given much attention in terms of students' awareness. This could be ascribed to the pandemic circumstance, which impedes the school from providing concrete environmental programs for the students to be aware of. In terms of extent to practice of public school core values, as a whole, the extent of practice is very great. All core values were rated very great extent, with makabansa as the highest and makakalikasan and makatao as the ranked last. The overall very great extent rating indicates that the students in a public school always practice the core values of makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan, and makabansa. In terms of the makabansa as the highest rated domain, the very great extent rating indicates that the students in this public educational institution always acknowledge themselves as Filipino citizens with pride. Relative to makatao, the lowest rated domain, this indicates that these core values should be given special attention in terms of students' practice in public school core values. Similarly, in makakalikasan, that indicates a need for public school to focus on improving core value practice. In the difference in the level of awareness of the students on public school core values in a component city of Northern Negros, the results showed that there were no significant difference in terms of religion and family structure. Hence, the hypotheses are accepted. Meanwhile, in terms of sex, there was a significant difference in the students' awareness. So therefore, the hypothesis is rejected. The no difference in religion indicates that the students, regardless of whether they are Catholic or non-Catholic, share the same awareness of the public school core values of makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan, and makabansa. Regarding the no significant difference result when grouped according to family structure, the students share the same awareness of the public school core values regardless of whether they came from nuclear, extended, or single-parent family. Meanwhile, the significant difference found in sex reveals that these demographic variable influence the students' awareness of public school core values. In fact, it was found out that in sex, there is a difference in the students' core value awareness. One factor of influencing the higher awareness of female students on core values is their high religiosity. This has something to do with the study among public school students, which found that the students' religiosity impacts their perception of values. Not to mention, the female students were found to be more religious than male, which could be a factor in the significance rating of this study. Meanwhile, the results showed in the difference in the extent of practice of students on public school core values of the city of Northern Negros Occidental was no significant difference when grouped according to sex, religion, and family structure. Hence, the hypotheses are accepted. The no difference rating indicates that the students in a public school, regardless of their religion, family structure, and sex, share the same perception of the extent of practice of core values. The no difference rating could be influenced by the school-wide implementation of the public school core values regardless of their religion, family structure, and sex. This could also be affected by the school's mandate among their students to perform and practice these core values since they are assessed according to their performance as explicit in their reports card. With these findings, this imply the essential of establishing the core value practice that is not only rooted in the school's mandate and students' compliance, but through the in-depth embodiment of the core values and to deeply inculcate the core values to apply them on their own. Meanwhile, the relationship between the students' awareness and practice of public school core values shows positive correlation between these two variables, indicates that the students' awareness of these public school core values of makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan, makabansa indeed affects their practice. It is only shows that the school has a crucial role in establishing and advancing the students' awareness of public school core values, which potentially results in their effective and sustainable practice. Anchored on the knowledge awareness practice model, the study perceived that the students' awareness impacts the practice of public school core values in a component city of Northern Negros Occidental. In the context of this study, this approach claims that as students' level of awareness increases relative to the public school core values, their extent of practice increases too. With a positive correlation found between the students' awareness and practice of the public school core values, the veracity of the CUP model is validated. Considering the findings, these imply the call for the public school to sustain, incorporate, and monitor the four core values in their curricular and non-curricular programs and activities to elicit strong students' awareness of these values. The teachers are encouraged to relate theoretical discussions to social issues to raise students' awareness, especially using social media. There's a need for public schools to link environmental theories to practical applications by using environmental programs such as solid waste management as a teaching and learning opportunity to ensure the students' environmental care and concerns. For future researchers, they are encouraged to utilize other variables not covered in this study to validate claims of this research. Moreover, the administrators are recommended to closely monitor and supervise the implementation and incorporation of the public school core values in the school instruction and curriculum and provide their teachers necessary training to effectively integrate the core values in their instructional pedagogies. For the teachers, they are recommended that they may religiously incorporate the four public school core values and their field of specialization and instruction to ensure their students' strong awareness and practice. For the future researchers, they're recommended for they're encouraged to conduct additional studies relative to the awareness and practice of the core values, considering the demographic variables that were not covered to validate the study's claims. After presenting the result of my study to the school administrators and teachers as well, the school developed this and strengthened the students' values of being makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan, makabansa. The proposed values formation activities help pupils understand more what is right from wrong and aid shape their mindsets and behavior, and encourage students to exercise love for God, love for fellow men or others, love and care for the environment, and love for the country in their entire lives. This study focused on assessing the level of awareness and extent of practice of the junior high school students on the core values of makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan, makabansa in a public high school in a component city of Northern Negros Occidental. The findings of the study may serve as a basis for formulating values formation activities for public high school students for the continuous improvement of the awareness and practice of the public school core values. And finally, these are the salient references cited in this study. Thank you and have a good day ahead.